that we continue to maintain a professional position while doing so. And there will be question and answer session. I will advise that we make use of the chat room to do that. We can drop our questions on the chat room. Adeswa will do well to pick that up and ask Dr. Ninos when the time is right. Please confirm that you can hear me, because I was seeing in the comment section that some of you can hear me. Confirm with an emoji, please. Oh, okay. All right. So having said that, we'd like to hand over to Ms. Adeswa. Ms. Adeswa, thank you for joining us. Over to you.
Hi, everyone. Good afternoon to every one of us here, and welcome to our RBSN Business Leadership Development Program. And today's topic is tagged Developing a Growth Mindset for Leadership Success. As Victor mentioned earlier, my name is Adeswa Saigi, and it's my utmost pleasure today to moderate today's event. And what this event does is that it brings top personalities from various and prestigious industries to run business school. And I'm super excited today because, as you all know, our guest today is Dr. Linus Okorie. And today we are privileged to have with us such an amazing, distinguished speaker. And he's going to be speaking to us on a topic tagged Developing a Growth Mindset for Leadership Success. So before he dives right into it, let me just go through his bio. And I must confess to you that his bio is actually very interesting. So Dr. Linus is a renowned leadership development coach. He's a human capital development consultant and a thought leader. For nearly 3 decades, a whole whooping 3 decades, right? Dr. Linus has been a relentless advocate for good leadership in public and corporate governance across Nigeria and Africa. His vast experience in leadership, coaching, mentoring, and advocacy has established him as a trusted authority in leadership excellence. He has consistently empowered leaders to navigate complexities with integrity and competence. He's also the founder and president of Guardians of the Nation International, popularly known as GOTNI, and that's a leadership development nonprofit organization that has created 15 leadership brands that have been designed to nurture youth, elected officials, and the public in effective leadership skills and values. Under his visionary leadership, Gotney has emerged as Nigeria's foremost leadership capital development organization, and this includes the establishment of the Gotney Leadership Center, GLC, in Abuja. Dr. Linus Okorie has hosted the Emerging Leaders Conference for over 2 decades, and he has empowered thousands of young people annually to embrace effective leadership. He's also a seasoned power networker with a global reach, leveraging his connection to secure life-changing opportunities for young leaders across the world. He's recognized as one of Africa's most influential leaders. Dr. Linus is a 3-time recipient of honorary doctoral degrees, and he has been honored with the prestigious National Award of Member of the Federal Republic, MFR. He's an influential speaker, he's a media personality, and he has delivered over 2,000 keynote addresses and speeches across Africa, the Middle East, Europe, and the United States. He has made more than 2,500 radio and television appearances and is a TV show host and columnist known for shaping public discourse on leadership and national development. He's also the author of Footprints Leading Beyond Today, and this is a globally recognized book, and with a foreword by Dr. Miles Monroe. Wow. Dr. Linus Okorie's leadership programs have directly inspired over 300,000 individuals across Africa, with millions impacted through radio, television, and print media. He's a recipient of over 250 local and international awards, including the prestigious Best of Africa Award by US Africa Magazine, Houston, Texas. As a West African representative of Adaya International, United Kingdom, he has advanced leadership education across the continent with an Afrocentric approach. He's a graduate of History and International Relations from Imo State University. Dr. Linus also holds a master's degree in organizational leadership from Regent University, Virginia Beach, USA. He's an alumnus of the International Visitors Leadership Program, sponsored by the US Department of State, and Executive Leadership Education Program at Harvard University's Kennedy School of Government, Boston, USA. Dr. Linus has the certification in the art and practice of leadership development, and he has been inducted into the College of Fellows at the African Business School. In 2029, Dr. Linus Okorie ran as the governorship candidate in Imo State, bringing his passion for transformational leadership into the political space with a commitment to fostering development, innovation, and good governance in his home state. He's currently on a mission to establish the Godney Leadership University, the first of its kind in West Africa. This ambitious project aims to serve as a premier institution for grooming leaders across the continent, equipping them with practical skills, values, and mindsets to address Africa's unique challenges and opportunities. Dr. Linus Okorie is a resource mobilizer, he's a nation builder, and a power thinker with a career path defined by principles of selfless service, dignity, and integrity. His work continues to inspire a new generation of leaders committed to building a prosperous and inclusive Africa. That was a mouthful. I'm sure everyone will agree with me. But yeah, so let's just get right into it. Dr. Linus Okorie, we are so eager to hear from you. We are eager to hear your insights on giving and receiving constructive feedback today. Please, you may take the floor.
Hello, my name is Brian Tracy, and I'm a professional speaker and management consultant. And I want to introduce you to my good friend, Linus Okorie.
Ladies and gentlemen, please make welcome Dr. Linus Okorie.
Yeah, hello, good afternoon, everyone. I'm so excited to be part of your lives today. Let me first of all honor and thank the management of the Rome Business School. Let me thank them for inviting me to be part of this very great meeting this afternoon. It will interest you to know that as I'm talking to you right now, I'm far away from my official desk. I am in the city of Delta, Asaba, Delta State, where I went yesterday to speak as a keynote speaker for one of the biggest conventions organized by P1 Group. And I'm just glad that I'm able to, make out time to honor your invitation. And so for everyone who is in class this afternoon, I want to congratulate you for trying to be more, for your hunger to be more. I want to congratulate you for stretching to make a big difference. What drove you to taking a course with the institution is because you want to make a difference. You want to be the best that you can. You want to stretch. You want to leave a mark on the surface of the earth. You want to contribute something to humanity, and that's why you're here. So my job this evening or afternoon is to help you to become more. We are actually in the 21st century. The 21st century is quite interesting. Quite interesting in the sense that there are certain realities in the 21st century. Number one, there's a concept called globalization. Globalization is critical in the 21st century. What does it mean? So what it means literally right now is that we are no longer competing amongst ourselves. We are competing now with the very best around the world. What it means is that distance is completely dead. What it means is that everyone who is in this room today, if you have to be the best, you must begin to think about the world global best practices. Global best practices. What it means is that, look, you want to be able to come out and stand out. So what it means is that you can be in Nigeria and the world will celebrate you. It doesn't matter where you are, literally. What it means is that you are bringing so much to the table that the world will be able to celebrate you. So because of these realities of globalization, the reality of technology, technology is now real. The reality of diversification or diversity, as the case may be, the reality of the free flow of information, the reality of the challenges that are now facing organizations as a result of the fact that when one country is not feeling well, it impacts the next country. All of these are dynamics that are critical. And to understand these dynamics, it therefore means that any leader that must make a difference must not just seek for opportunities to maximize. So people say, somebody will say, I want to maximize opportunities. I'm telling no, 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 no. Right now, it is not about you maximizing opportunities. I want you to stop. Forget the opportunities, optimize yourself. The secret in this game of leadership development is the concept of personal optimization. Is the concept about dealing with yourself as an institution. That you that is in this class taking this course, you are an institution, you are an individual that can make a big difference. So focus on this particular course. I want you to focus on you. Leave out the dynamic economic environment. Leave out the challenges within the environment. Leave out the opportunities within the environment. I want you to focus on how do I position myself to be in that frame where I can provide leadership and provide leadership in a certain way that will be able to make a difference. The first critical element is the fact that I want to let all of us understand the subject matter we're talking about today, leadership. When you mention leadership, what is this leadership all about? What is leadership in that context? Before I go into the subject matter we're talking about today, leadership literally, according to my mentor several years ago, I hosted Dr. Miles Monroe in the city of Owerri. He was addressing 1,500 people. And then he said, Linus, do you know that there are over 5,000 definitions of leadership? But I want to introduce leadership in a way that you would appreciate. And then he said, I quote him, he said, leadership is the ability to inspire, motivate, drive a group of people towards a particular direction by inspiration, not intimidation or manipulation. I want to repeat that again. That leadership is the ability to inspire, motivate, drive a group of people towards a particular direction by inspiration, not intimidation or manipulation. So at the heart of this definition, you realize that leadership cannot happen until the individual, that individual who steps up, make a difference. That individual understands leadership, lives leadership. That individual allows leadership to impact him, influence him. That individual becomes somebody who can show leadership by example. Leadership by example. What it means is that you cannot lead other people until you have first of all led you. You can't lead a third party until you can lead you. For you to lead other people, you must have first of all become. You must have first of all become outstanding. You must have first of all become influential. You must have first of all become great. You must first of all become somebody who has influence that other people can follow. Now, in order to become, one of the central things that you must understand is the fact that it is the role the mindset plays in your becoming process. The mindset plays a very critical role in your becoming process. And if you check great people who have accomplished greatness in life, many of them were born in circumstances that was not comfortable. Many of them were born in poverty. Many of them were born in shame. Many of them were born in situations where they couldn't even, in fact, some of you listening to me today, some of you were born in poverty, but there was something that you did differently. There's something that you did differently. And one of those things that you did differently was, first of all, to take charge of your mind and make up your mind that you will succeed. Make up your mind that you become somebody. There's something about a mindset that is made up, a mindset that says, hey, wait a minute, I want to become great. So I am operating a growth mindset, a mindset that is ready to accept adaptability, accept innovation, accept a learning system, accept a growth system, a mindset that says, look, I can make progress. I won't be stagnated, right? So for me to be able to make progress, what it means is that I will have to, first of all, build my learning capacity. So I build a learning system. I build a system that enables me know nothing, which means I know nothing. I start operating from a realm that critically says I know nothing. So if you find anybody who operates from a realm that says I know nothing, like if you remember, I don't know if anybody recall that I'm the gentleman they call Socrates, Plato, Aristotle. These guys in their days, they were custodians of knowledge. These guys were the guys who were so brilliant with their conceptions of knowledge. They developed a body of knowledge on almost every subject matter area that you can ever imagine. In philosophy, there was a body of knowledge. In governance, there was a body of knowledge they developed. These guys were guys who created knowledge. They made knowledge, become such a very important element of life itself. But these guys went around town, they were saying to each other, to people they meet, I know nothing, I know nothing, I know nothing, I know nothing. So what it means is that they were already practicing growth mindset in their days, which means they were subjecting themselves to be able to, in a very outstanding way, find new paths to learning from their peers, learning from asking the right question, right? Asking, generating question, reflecting. These guys practice reflection. What did they do with reflection? They reflected about what they were doing, how they could do it better, and then they grew in knowledge. They found perspective. They found newness of life. That was what they did. What did they do? These guys, they observed life. They understood that, wait a minute, for me to grow, I must observe my environment. So they began to observe their environment. They began to observe the actions of men and women around them. They began to observe, the unspoken words, which means non-verbal communication. They begin to observe the environment, begin to observe even the business institutions around them. And then they began to make conclusions. They began to create concepts. They began to create ideas out of the fact that they were observing, they were asking the right questions, and they were ready to grow themselves, which means they were ready to learn from everything, from anyone, small, great, mighty. That's a growth mindset. So the growth mindset from that perspective literally is the fact that, listen, I know nothing, I want to grow. For me to be able to grow, then I must exercise my learning system. Then I must be deliberately become somebody who seeks knowledge before, because leadership flows to the one who knows. When you know it in the boardroom, you lead. So because of that, and that's why The other person is the person who practices what we call a fixed mindset. What is a fixed mindset? The guy who literally says, I know everything. I know it all. I recall many years ago, I had the opportunity to present a leadership talk to some very senior directors, senior permanent. These guys were directors in government service institution. They were very old. Some of them were those guys who wore glasses this way. They wore glasses like this. These guys were, I walked into the room and I saw everyone looking at me. They were all looking at me, and in their minds, who is this guy? Who is this young man? Then I had no white hair. I didn't have this. I was just, growing in the industry as a prolific speaker. I walked into that room, and when I saw the rejection in that room, I simply asked a question. And I asked them, I said to them in the room, I said, can anybody in the room tell me for the past 5 years, if you have read up to 50 books, I want to see your hand. 50 books in every subject matter area, any subject matter area that you can ever imagine, in your professional subject matter area, in the personal development space, whatever, we were talking about. Let me see, let me hear you. Oh my God, I didn't see one hand. So I asked, what about 40 books? I didn't see any hand. What about 30? I didn't see any hand. And then I saw humility. Humility now was in place. And 10 books, none. 5 books, one person raised his hand. I said, I want the name of the authors, and I also want the name or the titles of the book. Specific. I think he gave me about 3 titles or so, specifically. And at the end of the day, what happened was that by the time I was done with that class, as that class was so impacted that as I wanted to get out of that class, I saw that old men too can move. They moved in their numbers. Could we have your card, please? They were struggling to have my complimentary card. And that made a very powerful impression in my life, specifically. And, so I said to myself that, listen, this is the 21st century. Anybody, any individual that wants to lead, that wants to make a difference, that want to be recognized, that want to become a voice, that want to become a person of impact, must strategically position yourself to be somebody who is hungry for knowledge, who is hungry for more, who wants to be more, who is seeking for personal optimization, who deliberately, by virtue of your leadership standing, you have made up your mind that you protect your mind from external and internal aggression or aggressors, as the case may be. And because your mind is strategic for your personal leadership to be able to make a big difference, what it means is that you need less distraction. Listen to me. You see the way the way the ear tests words is the way the mouth taste meat. And so what it means is that you have to deliberately create around you a system that is a learning system, that what comes into your ear must be something that enables you to be more, must be you're listening to something that can help you grow, something that can help you develop, something that can help you become outstanding, something that can help you become more. So when you are discussing a subject matter area, you can be more refreshed in the knowledge that you have got. So what it means is that as a person listening to me today, once you have a growth mindset, there are certain practices that will be normal with you. And these are the practices that I want to be able to bring up. Remember, we're still talking about influence. I said to you that you cannot become influential until you have first of all become an outstanding leader. The moment you become an outstanding leader, the becoming process takes some time, right? The becoming process takes some time, and that becoming process focuses on you as a person. Because I want to be critical, we must know is that we are blind until we know that nothing is worth the making if it does not make the man. Why buildest these cities glorious? Why man unbuilded goes? Like the world is designed in such a way that people are looking at growth beyond themselves. They're looking at growth from third-party perspective. They are building, investing in businesses. The people are investing money in cars, beautiful cars. People are investing money in all kinds of things. But guess what? People are not spending a lot of money in their personal optimization process because they've not really understood that the foundation of success and growth is the kind of mindset that you operate. Let me come to you with a true life story. You see, I lost my dad when I was in class 3. When I was in class 3 in secondary school, I went to government secondary school, Owerri. And because I went to government secondary school, Owerri, when I lost my dad, I started dreaming of making a difference. I wanted to make a difference. I wanted to become somebody outstanding. And for a starting point for me was I started to dream of becoming head boy of government secondary school, Owerri. Every day, my mind operated from that mindset that I want to be head boy. I was hungry to be head boy. The hunger to be head boy had eaten me up. So one day, my classmates were seated in the classroom. I didn't know what moved me. I came in front of the classroom and I announced to the people. I said to them, "Good afternoon, my fellow students. May it interest you to know I'll become your head boy." As I said that, I thought everybody was going to clap for me. I thought everybody was going to clap for me. The next thing shocked me. They were all quiet. And then all of them started laughing at the same time. They laughed and laughed and laughed. And it became mockery. I didn't know what to do. I was begging for the ground to open so I would enter. The ground refused to open. I was on my own. Then, but thank God for lockers. I cited my locker and I ran to my locker in shame. Who sent me? And as I was about putting my head on my locker in shame, my mind peeped into the future and I saw myself being decorated as head boy. That changed again. A sense of confidence rose. As that confidence rose, immediately I moved because I have understood where I was going. The next thing was strategy. I moved into the strategy place. There's a role for strategy when vision is known. And what did I do? I started to apply strategy in my mind. When I get to senior class, what will I do differently? 5-point agenda arose. True life story. Number one, they were still laughing, but I moved on. I have built my own world. They were laughing. Physically, they were laughing. The environment didn't support me, but my mind was already in the future. I was designing things. Number one, when I get to senior class, I'll polish my sandals and my sandals will shine. I could see my face. Number two, I will iron my school uniform. I will have the ghetto feeling with the trouser. Number three, I will hang around teachers' quarters. So they will send me on errands because in politics, visibility is key. Number four, I'll go to junior classes and I'll say, I hope no senior come to molest you. They say, yes, senior. Number five, I will study intellectually in my academics because nobody gives you head boy if you do not make 5 A's in our school. And my 5-point agenda was set. Now, a growth mindset tells you that there's a concept called implementation. Implementation. Investment in getting things done. A lot of us make promises to ourselves because we have fixed mindsets. We never get those things done. But I started practicing that. I got to senior class. Everything I said I was going to do, I did all of those things. I did them. By the time I was in class 5, my name came out in the list of active prefects. I remember that day. The head of the school, the principal, came with his entourage, and they began to announce the names of prefects. The name of the school prefect, labor prefect, one tall boy came out. The name of the food prefect. People said those who love food started celebrating the food prefect. And the name of the head boy of government secondary school Owerri is, the hall was quiet, Master Linus Okorie. Immediately, they began to celebrate, carried me on their shoulders, and began to celebrate. I looked at their faces. They were the same guys who laughed at me. And my first principle in life emerged. You might want to write that down, that my life does not depend on a third party. The guys with the fixed mindset are still in the past, thinking that if they have to succeed, that they must know somebody to succeed. Somebody still fixed there. If you know somebody, the best somebody can do for you is to open a door for you. But if you don't have a growth mindset, that particular door will not be sustainable. That's a fact on ground. So it is your personal responsibility to take it upon you to begin the process of your reinvention, to continue the process of your mind innovation, to continue the process of your rebuilding what you represent. It is what you build in that daily growth that happens to you, whether you are learning from somebody or you're asking somebody the right question or you are asking some deep question. It are those particular things that get to you, that blow your mind. Those are the things that help shape your future. That practice of doing future thinking alone, because it is a growth mind said that somebody realizes that, listen, for me to be able to make a progress in this life, I must first of all live in the future before I roll back and start living in the present. So what it means is that, growth mindset tells you that there's something called possibilities. It's growth mindset that tells you all of that you can actually accomplish great things and achieve great result in life as a result of the way your mind is designed, which means your mind is designed already to be in the process of growth itself. Therefore, you start building a body of knowledge on several items in your life, a body of knowledge on how to be number one, a body of knowledge on how to be the best in what you do, a body of knowledge on how to research. Research becomes part of your life. Research, you begin to understand the concept of stretching, that there's something called comfort zone. A growth mindset does not understand comfort zone. A growth mindset is attuned with discomfort because it's the greatest learning that you have ever seen in the world. The greatest creation, things were created under the discomfortable system that they had discomfort. But guess what? The place of plenty comfort, you can't research in a place of comfort. You can't. You can't stretch your mind to innovate. In fact, some of the greatest ideas that had been utilized to grow humanity, to make a difference in this world, were gotten in a place of discomfort, in a place of delayed gratification, in a place where leaders decided to think about the future rather than thinking about the now. Immediate gratification is an enemy of a growth mindset. Immediate gratification is an enemy of a growth mindset. Show me any leader that has made a big difference in our world. I'll show you a leader that has done what? A leader that has been able to build capacity, stretch beyond the normal. Somebody that will take all the money in his pocket to go and buy books, and the person is growing, is stretching, not sleeping night upon night, stretching. And then somebody who doesn't believe in learning will come and compete with you. That's why we're not betting great things. That's why we're not building something. That's why nobody has got the right to teach me until I've built something, done something, created something. We need a critical mass of people with a growth mindset that can set this country on the path of progress. We need a new political class that is driven by a pursuit of what is bigger than them, a pursuit of the common good, a pursuit of what interests others, that is awakened by just staying in the room and studying and reading Simon Sinek that tells you that leaders eat last. We need great guys who, by virtue of research, they have come across a book titled The Age of Reason, written by a gentleman called Charles Handy. And Charles Handy in the 60s, we're already talking about the Shamrock organizations. Shamrock organizations. We're already talking about upside down thinking. We're already talking about ideas that today is gold. What are we talking about? Growth mindset leads us to progress, lead us to stretching, lead us to the process of becoming. So the point I'm trying to make here is that, remember, I am still talking about what enables you to become influential. It is when your growth mindset is in place that you know that part of the ways to become outstanding is to find new networks, is to build sustainable networks. It's only a growth mindset that is not intimidated by the success of others. When somebody is experiencing a growth mindset, that individual is not interested in the progress of others in that context. It's not dissatisfied, not angry that other people are making progress. What is he doing? He is sitting the individual, please, can I have a few minutes of your time? I want to ask a few questions. How did you accomplish this? How did you build this? How did you get this done? Oh my God, that is a growth mindset we're talking to you about. Imagine if people can stop competing with one another and start collaborating. Growth mindset will teach you that there are some nuggets that you learn, that competition sometimes could be dangerous to progress of nations, but collaboration can enable growth happen. It's growth mindset. So if you do not, you're sitting here, you're listening to me today, and you are in this class and you want to be the best you can ever be, my advice to you today is to simply say to you that leadership in its entire definition is about influence. And you cannot influence until you have become. You have to become great first before you can influence. You have to become compassionate before you can be kind to somebody else. You have to become somebody who is passionate about building something before the world can listen to you. So I have seen a lot of people who are seeking for degrees with a fixed mindset. Like, how can somebody be? So you see a lot of people who are in our institutions, that they belong to our institution, they pay money to get certification in institutions with a fixed mindset. What does that mean? They cram, because the aim of the certification is a name, is make a name, not contribution to society. Everyone who has gone to school must come out and contribute something meaningful to society. In fact, men make history, according to Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Men make history, not the other way around. In period where there is no leadership, society stands still. Progress occurs only when men and women with vision, courage, skill, seizes the opportunity to change things for the better. What it means is that in your industry, nothing happens until you step up. They are waiting for you to step up. But if you step up without building a growth mindset that is solid, the truth of the matter is that you will not be able to make a sustainable progress that we're talking to you about. Certification is not what makes people great. It's an enabler. If you have a growth mindset, it powers you. One of the other days, I was flying with a gentleman who had built a very important organization in this country. He's become very wealthy because he's become a billionaire. And in the transport sector, that's where he made his money. But he didn't go to a lot of school in that sense, which means he didn't have a lot of certification. And so when I got into, he was in 1C and I was in 1D or so, or 1B, I was in 1D. So while I was in with him, I immediately I said to myself, I know nothing. I know nothing. I know nothing. So what did I do? I started asking him questions. I began to ask him questions. I want to know about what you're doing. As I began to ask those questions, he began to tell me a lot of things about him. It was then I found out that he has even diversified, that he had gone into other businesses. Oh my God, I didn't know that he has gone into real estate. He has gone, and he told me that universities overseas, high first class universities overseas, what do they do? Those guys invite him to do keynote speech in their graduation ceremony in their universities overseas. No one university has invited him in Nigeria to do so because he's a professor in the marketplace. He's a professor in as far as transport is concerned, because for many years he has built something, he has done something. If you haven't built something, done something, you don't have anything to teach anybody. So the other day, at our leadership center, to about 20-something head of institutions, including vice chancellors, came for a 2-day training program, leadership training program at the center. And while they were there, I began to open their minds about the possibilities of what could happen differently in the university system. That the university system needs more leadership capital than ever that you can ever imagine. Because if they are people with growth mindset teaching, imagine lecturers with growth mindset teaching, they will never teach something that is stale. Imagine if you have lecturers who are teaching, they will never use their mouth and curse a student. If you have lecturers with growth mindset, every word that comes out of their mouth will build somebody, will inspire somebody, will grow somebody, will make somebody a lot better than they can ever imagine. And one of the principles I want to be able to create, in this particular life is the fact that the leadership university that we're building specifically would address a lot of those issues, but take those lecturers in our university system and bring them into the university system, leadership university system. And by the time they go out of the university system, they are already men and women with great growth mindset that will enable them begin to create knowledge and create knowledge to the point that knowledge will birth ideas that can shape the world. Any knowledge that cannot be transported into an idea, that cannot be incubated over a period of time, that is going to come into a product or a service and exchange for value in the marketplace, is no knowledge. And it is only when you practice consistent, sustainable growth mindsets that your way of thinking will be different. You think future, you think possibilities, you think innovation, you think integrity, you think passion, you think ownership, you think value for time, you think the future, you think communication, communicate right. These are the concepts of what we're talking to you about. Nobody can build anything until you have mastered the act of practicing a growth mindset. A growth mindset makes you a perpetual learner for life. And it is when you have become a perpetual learner for life that you now begin to optimize yourself. You optimize your value. Then you become valuable. Then people can follow you. Then you become a voice. Then you can now become somebody that has become, through a body of knowledge, you have built something significant that the world can now come to you for. So the point I'm making is that when you have a knowledge mindset, you can live in Nigeria and practice certain leadership principles that people will laugh at you at sometimes. Sometimes they think you're reasonable, but guess what? Over a period of time, you can build an institution around that and people can respect you because leadership flows to the one who knows. And I think that in beginning to put my ideas in a concluding way, One of the fastest way that we can now begin to take our knowledge to the next level, to say after we optimize, that how can we now begin to work with one another in order to foster collaboration? It becomes important because if you're already in a growth mindset mood, nobody's idea will intimidate you anymore. If you operate in a growth mindset, you realize that, look, you are even better collaborating than competing. So what it means is that you now realize that for you to be able to build something, you need different talent to be able to build those things, and your ability to be able to share out of, let's assume that you have your share worth is 100% in that sense. You can take 50 of that and you distribute it to other people and you bring them into your company and build a sustainable company because of your mindset. Your mindset is not fixed. Those who have fixed mindset are those who want to own a company alone. And that company you're owning alone is only making 1 million in a month. But if you share with other people and you're not intimidated, you learn how to deal with your personal ego. A growth mindset will tell you, my mindset has no place for envy, has no place for jealousy, has no place for small talk, has no place for gossip, has no place for pulling anybody down. My mindset, as a growth mindset, all I do is I lift others. I help others become more. I help others make a big difference. I strengthen others. And so I become a builder of men. I become a builder of women. I become somebody who is developing the very best of what we have got. And then you see that my value will increase in the marketplace. So I think this is my thoughts, and I'll be glad to take questions.
Oh, wow. I want to say a huge, okay, let me unmute myself. Okay, so I want to say a huge thank you to you very much, sir. I mean, this has been so impactful. I mean, you didn't use a slide. You didn't use any slide. You poured out from your wealth of knowledge, and for this, we are so grateful. Thank you so much for your time. I'm sure a lot of people have questions because, I mean, from our participants, you can see we have about 703 people here join us today. There are a lot of questions. So before I open the floor for people to ask their questions, you said a whole lot of things. Like you said a whole lot of things. I don't know if you have like slides or documents or something that you can share with Rome Business Co. With leadership of Rome Business Co. Because I'm sure everybody here wants like a piece of what you just said. Okay, so you mentioned something about having a growth mindset, and there's something else I said I was going to ask you. So you made me understand something right now today, that we do not need to seek validation from anybody if we know who we really are. And that's one of the advantages of having a growth mindset. And one thing is for you to actually make impact. Another thing is for you to be able to contribute effectively to leadership advancement in Nigeria. And another thing is for you to be recognized and acknowledged, right? In 2022, you were honored with the national title of Member of the Order of the Federal Republic. Can I ask you, how did that make you feel? How did that make you feel? Because, I mean, I'm sure for you, this is almost like, oh, my impact is being felt, in as much as you do not need validation because you know who you are because of your good mindset. How did that award make you feel, if I may ask?
It will interest you to know that 10 years before that, remember, this is my 31 years in leadership development.
Wow.
31 years, yes, 31 years. I just turned 50 last year. And so, yes,
wow.
So exactly 10 years ago, by 2022 was when I got the honor. But 10 years before, the minister then for youth development had recommended me for national honor based on the work I'd done with young people in the country. And the honor actually came through. But at the last minute, my name disappeared from the list, right? So the minister was fuming, you know, and I told him not to worry, because that same year, the American government through the Department of State, honored me with a program they call IVLP, International Resource Leadership Program. And I was among the 4 people that made it from Africa. And 27 of us went to America from around the world for 1 month under studying what makes America work from the leadership development perspective. And I tell you the truth, that many years after, 10 years after that, the president in his own magnitude decided to honor me. So that day I felt very good. I felt fulfilled. I felt that my work had finally been recognized, because there was a time nobody did not understand what I was talking about in my early days. I ran a program on television for 10 years, Leadership Clinic, pumping resources in the minds of the people. And so the point I'm trying to make is that anybody listening to me today, whatever you're working at, the secret is keep at it. Keep at it. Stay the course. Keep at it. Stay the course. Don't seek for recognition. Serve your way excellently. Become an excellent person, even when people do not respect your work, but through envy. Forget it. Continue to be excellent. It's called consistency. It's called the keep at it factor. It's called a growth mindset says keep at it. Keep innovating, keep stretching. It's a stretching game. Keep building. Keep at it. Keep doing what you're doing that is great. Keep doing it. You might not get recognition today, but the truth of the matter is that tomorrow, somebody who has a growth mindset can experience you, and the person will reward you, and the country will reward you as well. So keep at it factor. And that's why at this point, I might want to also let everyone know in this room that I have 3 books that I have been able to publish that would add value to further thinking. I have Footprints Leading Beyond Today. I have Networking for Results. I have another book called Words on Marble, where I had 100 of my personal quotes in a pictorial manner. I put them in a book that can inspire you to think differently. And today, everyone listening to me today, you can also continue to learn from my work. Go to my Instagram and follow me. You can learn from a lot of the things that I'm doing. Linus Okore, that's what it is. And I want to keep giving knowledge to the world. You keep getting the knowledge. And if you also want to personally deepen your leadership capital, reach out as well. That's the way to go. The learning system. Look, the business school you are attending is a great institution. It will give you the best it can, but complementary leadership knowledge is also critical. And this is go everywhere, search knowledge from afar, and you get it. So that even the work you're going to produce from your MBA, when you have leadership capital that is sound, it strengthens it. That's what we're saying to you. So think about it, find opportunities there, and then we can make progress together. Let's work together. I encourage you, keep at it and keep growth mindset in front of you like never before. You know nothing. Remember, I know nothing. You know nothing. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So at the end of the day, we'll make a big difference.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, sir. So I just want to quickly ask before I throw it open to every one of the participants. Okay, so over the past 31 years, you've worked with different leaders. You've worked with, a whole lot of people across the world, across different sectors, especially. So in general, what's the most surprising thing you've learned? Like the most surprising thing you've learned?
The most, outstanding thing that is quite surprising that I've learned is the fact that there is something that makes people different. Temperaments. Our temperaments. Because a lot of us do not practice a learning system, we are unable to master the temperament of our friends and colleagues. So when our friends behave in a certain way, right, we judge them. If they behave a certain way 10 times, we judge them, we abuse them. But we have not taken our time to study why they behave the way they do. Most of the time is rested in our temperaments. Temperament can give you clue to understanding work colleagues. Every time you have an opportunity to work with a group of people and you're a team lead, first thing you do is profile them. Profile them. I'm surprised that people will have very outstanding people that are making a big difference, but they focus a lot more on the negatives of those people. Surprising. And talent is in the room. And people are not taking advantage of the talent in the room because they are looking only at the positives. Because they are looking only on the negatives of people. You find out that the negative of that negative of that individual that drives you crazy might just be 5% in that person's life. And the whole 95% is quality and great. And we have not maximized that. So understanding and studying the specific temperaments of those around us can help us, give us a clue on how to relate with them. And that will make a big difference for us.
Okay, yeah, thank you very
So
much.
that's why we're still making the same mistake several times, surprises me.
Yeah. So if I'm to ask you, sir, do you think a growth mindset is taught? Or do you think that is something you develop on your own? Do you think it's something, so for example,
Well,
okay.
Yes, go ahead.
No, please continue.
So the truth of the matter is that any day that you hear a new thoughts about growth mindset, it stimulates you to learn to develop your own growth mindset. Several people are locked up with fixed mindset for over the years. Guess what? Some of them, they have not had the opportunity of learning what a growth mindset is. So they remain in a fixed mindset. Do you understand what I'm saying? Some,
Yeah.
they are taught the principles of growth mindset and they don't understand it. Do you get what I mean? Yeah. So it depends on who is teaching you. Sometimes the person who's teaching you can give inspiration beyond the teaching. Do you understand what I'm saying? So you can learn how to grow your mindset. It's teachable. It's something you can learn by your own. You can develop it by your own. As I'm talking to you right now, I'm giving this class the opportunity to read 10 books. 10 books in 10 weeks. If you are ready to read 10 books in 10 weeks, I want you to put up a yes for me put up a yes for me. Let me see that fire yes. Fire yes. Put it for me. If you want me to give you 10 books, I want to give you titles of 10 books that will change your life, that will help you become a good pursuer. I'm not seeing the fire red.
Everybody's saying yes. The fire is firing. It's a lot. It's a whole lot.
So I want you to take down these 10 books. You must find those books wherever those books are. You must buy them. If you read one book per week and you provide me with an executive summary of each of those books, in 10 weeks, you will find me, you will give me a check. Somebody amongst you who have done 10 books, you will see the difference in 6 months in your life, and you will send me a check to say, thank you, Mr. Linus Okore. Thank you for the gift. Are you ready are you ready? Are you ready?
Ready.
Number one, my vision. My vision, Sheikh Mohammed Ahmad II, the ruler of Dubai. My vision, Sheikh Mohammed Ahmad II, the ruler of Dubai. Number two, where have all the leaders gone? Lee Lakoka. Lee Lakoka. Where have all the leaders gone? Lee Lakoka. Number three, from good to great, Jim Collins. From good to great, Jim Collins. Number four, Leaders Eat Last by Simon Sinek. Number five, Awakening the Giant Within by Anthony Robbins. Awakening the Giant Within by Anthony Robbins. Number 6, From Third World to First World. From Third World to First World by Lee Kuan Yew, the former Prime Minister of Singapore. Lee Kuan Yew. Number 4.
Number 7.
Someone wanted me to remind him. Number 7. Things Fall Apart. Since Things Fall Apart by Chinua Achebe. Things Fall Apart by Chinua Achebe. Number 8. The Burden of Freedom by Dr. Miles Monroe. The Burden of Freedom. Number 9. Footprints Leading Beyond Today by Linus Okorie. And number 10. Networking for Results by Linus Okorie. So these are my 10 books. Find those books, and after 6 months, you send me a check to say thank you. I think I have only about 5 minutes to run.
Okay. Oh, wow. Okay, so let's just take a question, sir. Akeju Olashegun has been raising up his hand. Please, can you unmute yourself and ask your questions quickly, please? Akeju Olashegun, please, can you unmute and ask?
Number 9 is Footprint Leading Beyond Today. Leading Beyond Today by Linus Okorie. Footprints Leading Beyond Today. Number 10 is Networking for Results by Linus Okorie. Networking for Results.
So, Kingsley Chukuma, please, can you ask your question? Can you unmute yourself and quickly ask your question? Hi, Kingsley. Can you?
Okay, all right. Yes, good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening. Thank you so much, Dr. Linus Okorie.
Thank you.
For a wonderful session, sir.
Yes, please.
My name is Kingsley Chukuma. And okay, so I work. I'm one of the top. I'm a management staff in one of the companies in Lagos. And okay, recently promoted to the management staff. So I want to ask you, as a leader, how do you handle a highly toxic environment?
A highly toxic environment.
Yes, sir.
So first thing first is it will depend on who is bringing the toxic nature in the workplace. Is the person a higher staff or a lower staff or the same cadre with you?
Hello.
Do you understand that?
Kingsley, did you hear that? He might probably be having.
Okay, yes. I was finding it difficult to unmute earlier. Okay, so from a higher staff.
Okay, good. So what it means is that first thing you must do is that
yes.
first thing you must do first of all is to protect your mind. Protect your mind first and ensure that all the things happening in the external environment do not have immediate impact in your mind. Your mind must remain peaceful. Your mind must also be in charge. And every time anything is supposed to annoy you, give it a different interpretation. Give it an interpretation that will ensure that your mind remains at peace. Number 2, if there are third parties who understand, who know this person, and you are close to them, and they are friends with these guys, you might want to have a conversation with those guys and I bet you they know how to communicate to this guy without having anything to do with you. Do you understand what I'm saying? So the first thing you owe yourself is, number one, ensure that you protect your mind and ensure that all the interpretation, the negative things happening is interpreted in the proper light, so that your peace of mind is very important. So you have that clarity and continue to do your work without any interferences.
Okay. Thank you so much, sir. I'm sure Kingsley understand and you took notes of solutions, of possible solutions. Sir, please, can we take one more before we let you go? One more question.
Okay. One more, please.
Okay, so Kunle Ajayi, please, can you unmute yourself? I see your hand has been up for quite a while. Can you unmute yourself and quickly ask your question? Thank you. Hi, Kunle, can you hear me?
Hi, I can hear you.
Okay, can you ask your questions quickly, please?
It's not really a question. I don't know, maybe Mr. Linus will remember this, but I just want to thank him for this session he has done for us here today. I met him for the first time sometime in 2002, 2003.
Wow.
If you can remember, 32 Road, one eatery or pharmacy on that day, you were sharing the vision of Goodney, I and some other guys there, and what you said then and what you have said right now is just talking about the law of process. You've stayed on what you have said. A lot of us have heard you and used what you have said even way back that time. And I just want to say thank you for keeping up to date.
Wow, wow. Please send me a private message on my Instagram link. I'd like to connect. So on these notes, I'd like to say thank you very much, everybody. And I look forward to interacting with you more.
Thank you, sir. So any word of encouragement for all of us? Any last words of encouragement? What do you have to say?
The last word of encouragement is that if a man doesn't have a purpose for waking up, sleeping becomes interesting. Focus on the future all the time. In fact, Abraham Lincoln said that I do not care about who my grandfather was. I only care about who his grandson is going to become. So it doesn't matter where you're coming from, your background, the process is tough. Keep at it, stay at it. One day, let your mind be protected. One day, you will turn out great and you will back this country greatly. Have a beautiful day. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much, sir. Bye. On behalf of everyone, we say thank you. Have an amazing rest of your day. Bye. Hello. Yeah. So I just want to say thank you to everybody for joining us so far. So good. Please let's welcome Mr. Idowu Adeleke to join us for his closing remarks. Hi, Mr. Idowu, are you here with us? Is Mr. Idowu here for his closing remarks? If he's not here, Chiamaka, do you mind?
He's here. I think he's
okay, he's here. Mr. Idowu, can you hear us? Or can you hear me?
Okay. Hello. Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Yes, I was having issues getting myself unmuted. All right, so our sincere appreciation goes to Dr. Okori for the very wonderful presentation. And then Adesu, thank you for also moderating this webinar. It's been a very insightful time on this section. So my name is Idowu Adeleke, to speak into about from business school and also to update us on the whole plan for the intake. Okay, so officially, we plan on closing on enrollment process for the April 2025 intake tomorrow, 14th. So if you're on this call, you're prospects, it's the very best time for you to reach out to your admission advisor to conclude on the process of admission. And if you are here, you have a colleague that would be interested in any of our master's programs or the MBA program, this is also the very best time for you to reach us to the school to initiate the admission process and have it concluded on time. All right, so Rome Business School offering over 20 master's programs with MBA inclusive. You have opportunity to join in now. It's also very important that I state on this call that for the October 2025 intake, the fees are relatively higher. So we want to take advantage of what the fees are now for the April 2025 intake. All right, so thank you so much for your time. I wish you all a good evening.
Hi, Mr. Odo, a quick one. Someone is asking in the comment section about the open day. Is there an upcoming open day or something?
Yes, there will be an open day on the 29th of this month. That would be the very last for the April 2025 intake.
Okay. Okay,
Yes,
thank
please.
you. On that beautiful, let me call Ms. Chiamaka to help us with her closing remark, with the final closing remark.
Thank you so much. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now. So I don't think a lot of people actually got the date for the open
Thank you
day.
so much for.
Sorry, I don't think a lot of people got the date for the open day, and a lot of people are still asking in the comment section that what day is it and what is it about? I don't know if.
Okay, right. So Chiamaka, just before you proceed, the open day is on the 29th of March 2025. So on that day, we'll be giving those that will be participating in the open day prospects the opportunity to enroll for the April intake. That will be very last opportunity for them to enroll. And then for prospects, for what I mean to say, you would also have the opportunity to know more about the institution, know more about the programs. We also have faculties. They usually come in the open day to talk to the audience that we have for the open day. Then it would also be an avenue to do a tour around the faculty. So those are the events that makes the open day. We'll talk about the accreditations, partnership, and membership that Rome Business School has, some of which are specific to some programs. Then we'll also talk about the programs, the facility. There'll be a facility tour. Some of the faculties would actually have the opportunity. And then you would also have some graduate students and students that are currently having their intake. They would also have the opportunity to talk to those that participate in the open day. So it will be on the 29th of this month by 10 a.m.
Can you share the venue as well? They're also asking for the venue.
So it will be at, yes, it will be at the GRA campus, number 10B, Abimbola Okunuga of Arosodipo, Ikeja, GRA, Lagos.
Okay. I think we're good with that now.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Odo. So over to you, Ms. Chiamaka, for your final closing remark.
Thank you so much for this one. You really moderated the section so well.
We can't hear you.
Once again, can you hear me?
Your voice is low.
Whoa.
Okay, I think it's good now. Yes, please. We can.
All right. Thank you so much for moderating this session today. It was really, really nice having you here again. Thank you so much for accepting. And I would really like to thank Dr. Linus in absentia for honoring this invite today to speak to our students.
Hello.
On that wonderful sales. I hope we all got a lot of insight that everybody enjoyed themselves. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Can you hear me at this one?
Yes, I can hear you.
Oh, okay. All right. So brief announcement before we leave. Do well to follow Dr. on LinkedIn. He's on LinkedIn as Dr. Linus. Then also Adeswa is one of us. You can also do well to connect with her on LinkedIn. She's on LinkedIn as Adesua Tony or Sagi. So let's interact with each other. Then finally, for those of you that have not filled the survey, please try as much as possible to those that fill the survey, of course. So please address, your correct email address. The survey is on the chat box. Please fill it with your correct email address. We'll be sending out the recording to you. You could see there was no slide, so we'll be sending out the recording to you at the end of this session. So on behalf of the entire management of Rome Business School Nigeria, would like to thank you again for joining us. Then tomorrow we'll still be having another session. Do well to join and participate as well. Till then, have a nice day. Mohammed, you are still raising up your hand. Do you want to ask a question?
I think that was from the previous, that was when Dr. Linus was.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
So
I want to actually ask a question.
Okay.
But the time of the lecture coincide with the time of prayer, so I was actually in prayers while I was asked to say my question. So maybe my appeal was maybe can you readjust maybe the times of similar time of the lectures so that people that has to do with my own orientation can fully participate.
Oh yeah, because of the Ramadan, because of the fasting that is going on.
Yeah. I was actually online, but I'm attending to prayers. That's why I couldn't ask the question while he was on. So maybe if my request will be answered, maybe you can adjust the time of the lectures, maybe like 2:30 to 3:30. Anytime near to 4, anytime between 3:50 to a little bit, maybe after quarter after 4, I might be, or Muslims might be in prayers.
All right, so we'll look into that actually. Look into that. But regardless, we'll still share the recording to you so you can actually play it again and get to understand some of the things we missed out on. So thank you so much for your time, and do well to have a nice day ahead. Bye.
Bye. Thank you so much, Shamaka. On behalf of everyone, on behalf of Rome Business School, thank you so much, everyone, once again, and have an amazing rest of the day. And remember, if a man doesn't have a purpose for waking up, sleep becomes what? Bye. Have a nice rest of the day, everyone. Bye.